Okay, so I just wanted to real briefly, and I don't know the history of all this stuff, but looking at it now and this divine times that we're living in, and it really is divine, you guys. We are fighting a battle of good and bad, good and evil, God and Satan, however you want to put it, light to darkness. We really are. And when it comes to the healthcare industry, so your Western medicine, your conventional medicine, your physicians that are treating us here in the States, actually have their Hippocratic oath, right? That's their Bible. That's what that's what they follow. That's their philosophy. So when we look at the Hippocratic oath for Western med, it is, I will remember that there is art to medicine as well as science, and that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. I relate to this because the only treatment you're ever going to receive is either a drug or surgery, really. Sometimes you'll get sent out to therapy, but their therapy is just to get you through, right? Just to get you through. It's not to cure you, it's just to get you through. So this is a Hippocratic oath. And then your naturalists, your other philosophy comes from the, how do you say this? I just had it. Oh, Socrates? I don't know. But this is their philosophy, okay? They're on two totally different planets as far as I'm concerned. So to me, it just feels like this is more of a humanitarian type of philosophy. It goes deeper than the, just the physicality of who we are. It actually goes into the emotion of who we are, the DNA, the soul. It goes deeper. It goes deeper. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of doctors that are going to, frown on this, but it's coming. And when they find out that they have been duped their entire life and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on their medical education, that it was all corrupt, and they were taught with this philosophy. Okay. Yeah, they're going to the art of medicine. And for a lot of people that went through their medical residency and became physicians and surgeons, they abide by this. But as we go on in time, we have no control. You're tied into a system. You're tied into a broken system. And this philosophy here never bowed down to the system. That's how I look at it. They have been the rebels, and I've always looked at them as the rebels of medicine, because they're not going to allow a government agency or any contract. That's why they don't take insurance. That's why it's all cash, because they can't tie themselves into something that's going to limit their philosophy. They're going to limit their abilities to help people. People get into medicine, at least they should. A lot of people that I know get into medicine because they want to help. They're there to help people, and that's how it should be. But when you are tied to a system that's so broken, it's so corrupt, it's very easy to get sucked into that system and think that changes your whole philosophy of treatment. And it's either, if you want to continue to practice medicine, you got to play the rule, you got to play by their rules. A lot of doctors are committing suicide. A lot of doctors are, I've known personally doctors who have committed suicide, have left their practice, taken desk jobs just because they can't do it anymore. They can't fake it anymore. And I think it's time in our time right now, that if people don't stand up for the truth and really figure out, what that means for you, whatever industry you're working in, whatever you're doing that is just tied into an ugly system. And it's basically every industry that we ever know, right? It's in everything. We need to take a stand. Okay. That's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing. And, there are so many people that are doing the same thing. We're going to we are heading towards a different society. We're not going to tolerate this anymore. People are standing up. I mean, this vaccine, in my opinion, was the eye opener for what's really happening in our healthcare industry. And I always said, when Trump gets into this and he exposes all these things, because that's what he did. I don't care if you like him or not. Okay. He exposed a lot of truths. When he gets into the health industry, he's going to have a field day because it's so bad. It is so corrupt on so many levels. And it starts at the top. We're just the peons down here doing all the work, making all that money for those insurance companies, making all that money for the pharmaceutical companies, because they've told us how to treat those patients. Oh, that person has, I don't know, liver cancer. Okay, what caused the liver cancer? They don't care. They don't want to know what caused it. They're just going to treat it. So they're going to give you medication. They're going to probably order therapy, chemo, whatever it takes, radiation. It's all money makers, all money makers. But they never find out why. I can tell you, working in clinical research, there's a lot of drugs out there that cause cancer. There's a lot of drugs out there that cause a lot of different ailments. It's just a repetitious, vicious cycle. You've got the clinical research that's putting all these meds out there that is actually making our society sick. They're not helping you. And then you've got, the second part of it with insurance. Oh, we wouldn't be able to do that. It's not covered. It's not covered by your insurance. Why isn't it covered? Oh, I don't know. It's just not covered. Well, a lot of it has to do with because they want you to go get chemo. Why? Because it's all a factory, how many people have gone through chemo? How many people have gone through chemo, and what does that cost? Who's making that money? It's all going back into the system. It's all going back into the system. When it costs a private practice physician $90,000 a month to run one machine just to diagnose, that's not even a treatment, just to diagnose a patient. How do you think those private practices survive? They have to play the game. They have to do what the game is telling them to do. And they have to do it at such a fast-paced level. $90,000 to run one machine in one practice. This is something I learned when I was working in a specialist office. They had to keep those numbers up in order to run that machine. So it's like a mill. And the people that are waking up to the mill are people like me that have been in the system and they see it firsthand. Our country does not care if we're well. People have to understand that. This is all about taking care of our own self. We have to do what's best for ourselves because they're not going to do it. And the others aren't allowed to do it. And the ones that can do it, you're going to have to pay for. So skip the insurance. Okay. We've been led to believe that we have to have insurance. We have to have insurance. You're right. We do have to have insurance because if we do go into the hospital and, it racks up a, $100,000 bill a day. I mean, really, does it really take that much to keep you in the hospital? Think about it. These hospitals are paid. It's all tied into the system. It's all tied into the system. We've got the AMA, okay? AMA, who's as dirty as hell, okay? That dictates to the country of how we're going to be treated by our physicians, that work side by side with the insurance companies. And I'm sure pharmaceutical companies are probably even above AMA. They're the ones telling AMA, okay, we got a new drug. This is what you need to do. AMA goes, okay, well, we'll have to deal with the insurance company and make sure it's covered. I've been through this process. I have helped so many different treatments get approved, not only by FDA, but by insurance carriers, to having it recognized, writing that CPT code and the ICD-9 that goes with it. Now it's ICD-10, whatever, but it's all factored into money. And are we getting any better? I don't think so. Not when I see things like, oh, cancer is up 300% in the last year. Okay. Miscarriages are up 300%. And this is just in our military, you guys. This isn't the civilian life. This is just military information. Neurological problems, okay, up 1,000% in 1 year. Something's not right. Okay. People have to start waking up to that. You need to start asking questions, and you need to stop just laying down and going, oh, this is what they're telling me to do. I better do it. I mean, it's your choice. But if you want to live to be a part of your kids and your grandkids' future, you need to start taking care of yourself. I can't tell you enough. I educated so many people about it is our responsibility to take care of our own self. We cannot rely on our doctors to do this for us, especially when they're lying to us. This whole jab thing, you don't think that they're being forced to tell you that? You don't think that their agency, like Kaiser, for instance, is being forced to tell their staff, their physicians, this is what we need to do? Because why? Because they got paid to do it. So now they're putting their, doctors at work and saying, here, this is how you have to present it. We need the numbers. Remember, there's always a quota, always a quota. All right, I'm going to stop bitching. Follow me for more information, grassrootstrong.com. We have our YouTube channel. I'll put it, gosh, I don't even know. This is all something I just started doing. So I'll figure out where to put it, but I will definitely get it on grassrootstrong.com. All right, you guys, take care out there.